Day 45, Min beneath the trees. Can you hear a waterfall behind me? A glowing light like a tiny moon appeared in front of them. With almost no warning, they burst into the open and found themselves soaring across the top of a vast forest in the pink blush of dawn. "We're here," Otland sang. "We're in Glinterdale, and below is the silver radiant forest. Is it not a glory to behold?" Min could not grasp the vision before her. The silver radiance had turned their trillions of leaves to their silver side to absorb the heat of the sun. The canopy spread in every direction like a vast, sequined, undulating blanket. It stretched right up to the edges of the pink valley walls surrounding Glinterdale. The leaves aligned in exquisite symmetry and glimmered like mirrors, each one reflecting the pink dot of the rising sun and the sunlit clouds around it. "How could such beauty exist?" Min gasped. "Not ever could I have imagined this," Radian exclaimed. Fitlin sighed. "Extraordinary, just extraordinary." Luston gripped Radian's arms. "I want to cry. I can't, I know." "Me too," Rita declared. "How I wish everyone could witness this beauty," Rose had marvelled. Priska could hardly speak. It's beyond perfection." Quiet Frass, who had not said anything much since joining the group, gulped. "I had no idea." Cassian moved to Min's side. "So this is what we've come to save. I feel the weight even more than I did before." Min nodded, unable to speak. "It hurts my eyes," Matilda complained, shielding her face. Everyone turned to stare at her. Chapter 27, Min's Nightmare. Eco 5, in the morning. "What?" Matilda glowered. "I'm just telling it like it is for me, that's all." Where have I heard that attitude before? Min wondered. Were Galeen and Matilda cut from the same cloth? If so, it might give us some insight on how to work with her. "Fair enough, Matilda," Min replied quietly and turned back to look at the scene ahead. Towards the centre of the mirror-like undulations, a stand of silver radiance grew taller and closer than the rest of their neighbours. "Shinare and her council ahead," Otland called back as he skillfully steered between branches and leaves, aiming at a landing place in the centre of the cluster. "By the heat of the brightest light," Fitlin, Min took in a long breath as they entered the tall stand. "Nothing could have prepared us for this. It's beyond description." She held out her hands. In the early morning light, they looked as if they'd been daubed in pure gold. All around, the forest shone and sparkled and gleamed. Beneath the glittering, reflective canopy, vivid splashes of every conceivable colour spattered everything she looked at. The understory flora, the creatures, the flappers, the beings. Min drew in a long breath. An army of artists has gone wild. Beyond the exuberant colour and metallic beauty, the air was calm, just a zephyr of breeze and at body temperature. It felt profoundly sacred and lit up Min's soul, even as a heartbeat heaviness crushed it, with the grim knowledge that this magical forest was in terrible peril. In face of both the beauty and the peril, the idea that this tiny band of glims had been given the responsibility to protect it from harm seemed almost inconceivable to her. "Greetings, Otland. Greetings, Glims. You're all so very welcome." A muffled voice that sounded deeply kind spoke in Lumish. "I am named Shinare, the chief Canopian of the Silver Radiance. Let me introduce you to my companion council trees, Glauderil on the left and Chimarone on the right. Thank you, Otland, for carrying these important glims so far and so safely." "We're deeply grateful for your presence, Min, Radian, Cassian, Arida and Matilda, and for your wise companions. Fitlin, who speaks with the ancestors, Luster, Priska and Frass, who can illuminate, and Rosad, Ashami and Hila. What a team you are." How many lumens have ever heard a tree address them in their own language, Min thought. "A little on the daunting side," Fleck muttered. "Such a privilege," Flutter added. "We have little time and there is much to do. You must know everything that confronts us if you are to conceive of a strategy for the Silver Radiant's survival, which will give hope to all who depend on us, Shinare continued. Min, already overwhelmed by the scale of this task, looked at Otlin for reassurance. His eyes averted, he appeared uncomfortable. I think we're about to hear a story Otlin hasn't told us, or doesn't want us to hear, Min intuited. A river of fear ran the length of her spine, making her hands tremble and her knees shake. The Glins about her stood in a tight group, nervous expectation sparking between them like static electricity. Otlin ruffled his feathers, clearly agitated. What are we about to hear? Min drew in a deep breath, the agony of suspense almost unbearable. The fires will enter Glinterdale from the northwest soon. For the older Radiants, we accept that our time has come. Shinare spoke quietly, with no change in her tone, as if she was simply telling them something they already knew. Min's reaction was physical. A weight slammed into her torso. The air left her body so quickly her legs began to buckle. Fitlin was quick to seize her elbow and steady her. He looked thunderstruck too, the others astounded. Tell me now that what I'm hearing is not the truth. What is the point of being an intuitive? I didn't know this. What was the point of coming here? She demanded of her wings. Before she could go on with her angry interrogation, Glauderil spoke, his voice deep and sonorous. Do not grieve yet, dear Glins. All living things must pass to the bright beyond. We are ready. Many of us have been granted more than our allotted 12 to 13,000 lunar cycles in this glorious valley. It's time for us to find our new place from where we will send light down to those we love, all the beings and flora of this space and time. A burning rage entered Min's body. We've endured all of this, anxiety, fear, danger, for what? The Radiants are going to die anyway, and the forest will be destroyed. Beyond the anger, devastation set in. Min looked about her. All of this gone? She wanted to scream. She wanted to cry her heart out. She grabbed Fitlin's hand and squeezed it with all her strength to somehow channel away the rage and sorrow and her tears. Fitlin held her hand tightly and put his arm around Raiden, who was already crying, as were the others. Matilda looked straight ahead, her face blank. Min glanced at Otlin. His eyes carried a raft of feelings. He looked pained, uneasy and sorrowful. She knew then that his burden was great. Still, her rage consumed her empathy. And I'll see you beneath the trees tomorrow.